Let's bring in ABC News investigative reporter Aaron Katersky, who has been trying to look into a clearer picture. Also, ABC's Alex Presha here in our nation's capital. Aaron, let's start with you. Let's talk about these new details about this teacher who called 911 in Uvalde. Does this change the investigation at all?
It certainly clarifies how the massacre may have gotten started, because the insinuation by the Texas Department of Public Safety was the shooter was allowed to enter Robb Elementary School last Tuesday unobstructed because the teacher had left the door propped open. And now we know that the teacher, according to her lawyer and the accepted account now of the police, closed the door behind her. It just didn't lock. So we're also interested in whether other details of the massacre are going to change as investigators make more progress. Interestingly, Kira, when we've asked the Texas Department of Public Safety a number of additional follow-up questions, they declined to answer and referred to the local district attorney, which is interesting because there's no one for the district attorney to actually prosecute, since the alleged shooter is, of course, dead. But the teacher's account is also interesting because it lays the groundwork for a possible lawsuit. Her attorney has now filed a petition against the maker of the AR-15 style rifle that was used in the shooting, perhaps to sue over the harm that it caused both her and those 19 kids and 2 teachers, Kira.
And Alex and Aaron, as you both know, today's Gun Violence Awareness Day. And as we all watch the president make that emotional plea for Congress to act, Biden, well, he doesn't think America wants a president-senator. But do you think he's rethinking that and wanting to put more pressure on Congress and get involved and push through some of this legislation, Alex?
Well, Kira, it certainly seems as though he is now weighing in, right? And part of that is because he's faced pressure to, even criticism for not being involved on the outset, at least publicly. But also, there is a deadline now looming with Leader Chuck Schumer placing a deadline for these negotiations, these 9 senators who are trying to come up with some sort of bipartisan deal to come up with something by early next week. And so the president, now after this Tulsa shooting, weighing in and applying pressure. It's certainly something that he was questioned about today, asked if he was having negotiations with members of Congress. He's saying that his staff is dealing with every member who wants to have those discussions. But in terms of what concrete things Democrats and Republicans are able to come to and agree on to put forth, in the Senate to get those 10 Republican votes we know that they need, that's something that's still kind of being worked out.
And Aaron, New York's legislature has voted to ban anyone under the age of 21 from buying or possessing a semi-automatic rifle. This has been a big discussion recently. It really sums up now, governors and how they need to take action. So what can we expect?
That legislative package in New York also includes a restriction on the sale of body armor to civilians. Both that and raising the age to buy a semi-automatic type assault-style rifle reflect the Buffalo shooting, which was carried out allegedly by an 18-year-old who was wearing body armor at the time. But then you look at a state like Texas, where the governor, Greg Abbott, has said he believes there's no gun measure to be passed that would have prevented Uvalde. Instead, he's preferred to look at school safety and has ordered an audit of all school buildings in Texas to see how their security measures up and whether there's more they can do to protect kids that way.
And when talking about gun legislation, Alex, quickly, Biden has said that progress on the issue will come down to voters in November's midterm election. How important do you think a role, the impact of this could make on the election?
Well, Kira, part of that, I think, depends on the news cycle. But look, even in Democratic-led states like Maine, California, Washington, and Nevada, when they had the opportunity to expand gun background checks into law, the overwhelming support suggested by a national survey, that support was nowhere to be found. And so I think that this is something that certainly the stats tell you that the people want one thing, but we've yet to see whether or not that's something that will actually be a lever pushing issue come November.
All right, Alex Presha, Aaron Katersky, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.